I'm Coach Amber, and welcome to the MeetRx Success Story Podcast. Today we have a special guest, one of our very own MeetRx coaches, Coach Lee. Welcome, Lee.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
You betcha. So, Lee, when you decided to start a meat-based diet, why did you do that? Were you having any health issues, or what was the reasons for you wanting to go more meat-based, and what was your life like at the time?
So when I first started doing it, I had actually seen a girl on Instagram who was one of my fellow gym friends, and I was doing military stuff, and so I was down in Texas, and she was back here in Ohio, and I reached out to her because she posted a before and after of just 2 weeks on Carnivore, and she was like, this is just 2 weeks on Carnivore. And she actually had leaned out a lot. And I was like, what the heck is Carnivore? So I messaged her, and she was like, well, just check out, the famous podcast with Sean Baker and Joe Rogan. And when I started watching it, I was like, as he was talking about things, everything started clicking in my head. And I was like, this is starting to make sense. And at the time, I was suffering from Crohn's symptoms and IBS. I was having really bad bloating issues all the time. And I equated that all to as just that's going to be symptoms of Crohn's, and that's how I had to live because my dad had Crohn's, my grandpa had Crohn's, and I just thought it was inevitable. And then when they started talking about relief of symptoms and everything, and how people on the diet don't have gas or don't have bloat or don't go to the bathroom that much. And at the time I was going to the bathroom 5-6 times a day. And I knew that the normality was at least once a day you had to go. That was the norm. And I had talked to my doctor several times, and he had put me on fiber, took me off fiber, dosed fiber, brought it down, brought it up, because he was trying to find a way for me to have some kind of relief. And so it wasn't until I was like, you know what, I think I'm just going to give this a shot. And I just went cold turkey. And it was very hard because at the time I was in training with the military. And during those times I had to eat what was at the dining facility. So I was like, you know what, I just went up to the line, and I was just like, give me a bunch of hamburgers and that's it. And so that's all I would eat during the day. And then at night I was able to kind of do my own thing and have my own meals. And so I would just but I was staying in a hotel for 5 months. So I would just go out to eat every night, and I would just go to a barbecue place, and I would just not get barbecue sauce. I wouldn't put any condiments. I would just get pulled pork or brisket or anything that was just meat. And within, I think, maybe a week, I started getting the keto flu, and I felt it hard. And I was like, man, I'm just so sick. But I've read that once you get through that initial phase, you're good to go. And then I just kind of went home and went to bed. Next day, I was 100%. And then I just kind of kept with it. And 2 years later, here I am. So that's kind of where it was at.
That's awesome. So you talked a little bit about how you kind of did the diet, but could you delve a little bit deeper in there? Say right now, what is a typical meal for you right now? And do you include dairy, eggs? Do you drink coffee? Do you do spices? Anything that you want to talk about?
Yeah. So I have my typical meals would be anywhere between just ground beef, eggs, some cheese here and there. I try not to overdo it. And I do a lot of salmon burgers, and I do sardines, and I'm not really an organ guy, so I don't really incorporate them that much. I was doing a lot of bacon, but it got so greasy it started messing with my stomach a little. So I kind of tapered off of bacon. I don't really do steaks just because they're so expensive. And I would rather do something that's, I don't know, economically feasible. And so the ground beef is kind of where it's at, like even though that's kind of rising in price now. But a lot of eggs, a lot of ground beef, a lot of I'll do like lunch meats too if it's not cured in sugar and everything. So I mean, it's a pretty boring diet, but it works for me. I do have a smoker, and I'll do like I'll put like a pork butt on there, and that'll last me for 3 or 4 days. Or pork tenderloin, but it's like super lean, so I don't do that too often. And I'll buy a bunch of like Angus 80/20 patties and throw them on the smoker and have those. But I do usually only eat like one meal a day, so I make enough to make it like I make about 25 to 100 to 3,000 calories at a time. So
Wow. I
yeah,
don't think I could physically do that unless it was like in sugar or something like that, or a stick of butter or something like that. Wow, that's a lot of calories. But
well, it's taken time so to get to that point.
for one meal.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, very cool. Okay. So after you were doing this for a while, what differences did you notice? What improvements?
Improvements was my Crohn's symptoms completely gone. My IBS is not a thing anymore. The only time it is if I have like a cheat meal here and there. I'll be reminded that this is not what my body wanted, and like the like no bloat. I wake up like feeling lean every day. I don't wake up hungry. I'm not really hungry throughout the day. I don't get those hunger pains anymore, like the insulin spikes. I don't really get brain fog that often. If I do, it's because I've stayed up too late and didn't get enough sleep. That kind of stuff. I would say my I guess my physical appearance has changed. I dropped. I think I've dropped about 40 pounds now. So that's over the course of 2 years, and I have plateaued and stayed at a current weight, but I didn't do anything to try to like try leaner meats or anything to try to lean out more. I was kind of comfortable where I'm at. And the gym performance, because I am somebody who works out 5 to 6 days a week, I did lose performance the first 3 months. I was kind of getting used to the fat-based fuel. So I did kind of lack there, but within, I don't know, that 3 months time, I was back to like benching pretty heavy and deadlifting pretty heavy. And I just kind of had that fuel back, and I felt I could fast and work out easier versus when I was fasting and trying to work out when I was on the standard American diet. So, yeah.
I get that. That's for sure. So, out of all the good that you've kind of experienced, what would be the one thing that kind of surprised you?
Not going to the bathroom. Yeah. Because yeah, and it was funny because like during this whole like pandemic when the toilet paper shortage was a thing, I wasn't worried at all. And it's funny because when you talk to people and you tell them you go once every 3 or 4 days, and they're like, "Oh, you're supposed to go every day. That doesn't sound healthy," and stuff. And they're part of the whatever they've been told, the sheep mentality, So that I would say that was the most surprising and the most exciting part.
I can understand that after having IBS and Crohn's, it makes complete sense that would be like, wow, because you thought you were going to have to live with that the rest of your life.
Yeah, right. For sure. Yeah. I may never get Crohn's now. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. One last question for you.
All
Since
right.
you are a coach with MeatRx and you are on the platform and in the community, what do you feel like is the benefits of being part of MeatRx
Are you talking about as a coach or as a member?
as a member?
I would say the benefits is you had, I don't know how many coaches are on the page, but I've gone through and I've read everyone's profiles. So I know where everyone's come from, and every single person has a different story. They all have relatable stories, and they've all found success in, those moments where they thought, they were doomed, doomed to be overweight forever, doomed to have diabetes, doomed to have high blood pressure, doomed, to be tired all the time. And by coming here, you get that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a fake light. It's truth. You kind of get to realize what we've been told this whole time's been a lie, and it's just a sense of enlightenment. And I would say by being a member, you're going to change your life drastically.
I love that. It hope.
Yeah,
That's what I
hope.
got from that. And you gave
Yeah,
me
hope.
the chills.
Oh,
That
nice.
was excellent. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us and talking about your story. And hey, y'all, if y'all are looking for a coach and want to give Carnivore a try, check out Lee. Thank you so much for joining us, Lee.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.